Welcome to the Value Builder Podcast, where we focus on real estate with a value-add mindset. Real strategies, real operators, real outcomes. Let's dive in.
All right, Value Builder community. Today I have a treat for you. Shay Yakubovich. He works maybe 4 hours a week. His team runs most of it. He sells commercial real estate, most of the retail and flex industrial. But he's doing smaller deals, way less stress, and actually way more life. So in this episode, we're going to talk about how not to 10x your portfolio. We're going to talk about something very different. What happens with you when you have enough and what you do with it. Shay will share a story about a mentor he met in Thailand, a tech guy actually who walked away from everything. And that story and that share, it changed completely how he thinks about success. We'll talk about strip center in Pensacola is going to be a very profitable deal without a lot of headache. And we asked a question, instead of chasing more, what if we put more energy in wanting less? So let's get into it. Welcome. Just
Thank you.
briefly,
Very happy to
if
be
you
here.
if you can just, give us a quick rundown.
Absolutely. So I was born and raised in Israel, and I used to play basketball all of my life. And I got to America in 2010. I got a full scholarship to play basketball for a school in Florida. And during my freshman year of college, I realized that I'm not the kind of person who can have a 9 to 5. I hate to be told what to do. I don't love the idea of going to the same office for 40 years, ask permission to use the toilet, plan your vacation like 6 months in advance. I mean, nothing wrong with that, just not who I am. And I started to find alternative ways how to make money and how to make a decent living. And that's how I got to real estate. So just like many people in the audience who are listening to us right now, I started to flip houses. And at some point I built a portfolio of a double-digit rentals. And that was great because I've achieved pretty good success at a pretty young age. I was a junior in college and I was driving around in a Mercedes, and I thought that I was like a big shot. And at some point I realized that residential real estate is great, but it is so much work. I realized
Correct.
that if I really want to go where I want to go, and if I really want to build wealth, and most importantly, if I want to build real passive income, residential real estate is not necessarily the way to go. And that's how I started that's how to play with the idea of maybe doing commercial real estate. I bought my first commercial building on my 30th birthday, and that was 7 years ago. And today I do 100% real estate, commercial real estate, retail, and flex industrial.
Let's dive in about what money can do for you in commercial real estate. And another topic we talk quite often, actually, you're inspiring me to think more and more about it. When enough is enough, right? So
Exactly.
I'll give a little bit of a frame, to our audience, and you correct me, what details I missed. You pretty much pivoted, and you're still full-time commercial real estate investor. You scaled down on number of transactions you do, probably even sizes of transaction you do. But watching you from the side, and you're definitely not an influencer. I don't think you have an intent to upgrade your lifestyle just to look nice on Facebook. But wherever you show how you live, right? Even though you do less and you do less transactions, it seems like you figured out, So in terms of how you live, transition, meaning you do less, but you're getting more from life. It seems like.
Yeah.
So talk to us about it.
100%. So I lived in Miami for many, many years, for 14, 15 years. And the Miami lifestyle can be great, and it can also be very consuming. Miami can be very materialistic and can be very superficial. And I was living the lifestyle. I was living in a penthouse, woke up every morning, saw the ocean, beautiful. I had a nice car, everything. And I realized that something was missing. And I realized that the more deals you make, the more money you have. If you don't use it right, it can be very empty. I was I was pretty successful, but I wasn't very fulfilled. And at some point I went to Thailand with my dad, just the two of us, for a couple of months, to Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, and we finished in Thailand. And those countries are very, very poor. You see people that have a shirt, they have shoes, sometimes they don't even have shoes. And this is literally all of their positions. But
Yeah.
they're so happy, they're so fulfilled. They
Hmm.
smile because they're truly happy, like they're so welcoming, they're so friendly. And then you go back to the States, and the US is the richest is the richest country in the world. And you see that, I don't know, like maybe like 30-40% is on antidepressant. People that have more money they can ever spend, but they're not happy. They're always like jealous of like, oh, what if I don't have enough? Or my neighbor just bought a big yacht, or like whatever it is, especially in the real estate world. You see it all the time. And then you realize, hey, maybe there is something that is missing, you know?
Yeah.
So Asia made me realize that maybe what I was chasing was not right for me. And again, it's a question that every person should ask themselves, because what I want is different with what you want, and what you want is different than what your best friend wants, and it's perfectly fine. I came to the realization that less is more. I came to the realization that I have enough passive income for my real estate holdings, and I've made enough money, and I can live very, very comfortably in the US, and I can live extremely more comfortably anywhere else in the world. I spend my days doing CrossFit in the morning, then I'm usually go to breakfast and see some friends. I work about 4 or 5 hours a week most of the time. I've built an amazing team that is pretty much doing everything. Everything runs on autopilot, and I just spend my days in nature, seeing friends, my family, and you realize that what money can buy for you is not necessarily material things. It's time. It's time
Yeah.
with the people that you love. It's time with doing the things that you really enjoy doing. I would much rather work a few hours a week, not a day, a few hours a week, and spend more time at the beach, because I know that in 30, 40 years, I'm going to look back and I will have no regrets for not spending enough time in the office. But I will have regrets for not spending enough time doing the things that I love, for not spending enough time seeing places that I want to visit, not spending enough time with my family, with my friends, with my loved ones. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay with having less. And whenever I say less, again, it's a different question. It's different for every person. Today, I don't have the desire to work on 15, 20, $30 million deals. I'm perfectly fine to work on a smaller deals. And now we can talk about it in the next few minutes. But today I'm working on smaller deals, less volume. They still have a lot of juice on them. But I have no desire to have 5 million square feet under management, and I have no desire to build a fund with like 50 employees, and you have to like constantly be on the phone with investors or like trying to chase the next deal. I completely slow down.
That's amazing. Now, I think for many people, including me, of course, there is the devil is on your shoulder. That one is that it's always not enough. That's very common with entrepreneurs and real estate. But another thing is like it's gonna be gone at some point, or you're gonna lose at some point. So you just keep going for more and more and more because that fear that there is something is gonna will take it away, or 2008 Camille, everything will collapse, right? No, I think many of us have that.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't have a choice but to trust them full time. I don't have a choice. And I love it. And they love it too. I'll give you an example. Like I tell them, hey, look, your goal is to get from New York to LA. I'm not gonna tell you how to get there. You can take the bus, you can run there, you can fly. It is up to you to figure out how to get there. Don't worry about making any mistakes. You have full autonomy, you have your freedom. Go do your thing. And in time, it works like magic. I don't have to get on a call every 5 minutes. It helps you to stop being such a huge control freak. And mistakes happen. It's perfectly fine to pay the price of having a mistake here and there, then constantly being on my phone all the time, then constantly like not sleeping at night.
Mhm.
Again, everything comes with a price. And the question that you want to ask yourself, am I comfortable to pay the price? If the answer is yes, amazing. Just enjoy it.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, thanks for sharing that. Really, no, and I'm still a bit thinking about your previous conversations, right? That many people who are chasing cash flow game, right? I think what's happening a lot of times. So I'll give you an example. Me and my wife recently we organized the garage, I think, and we found a uh, kind of thing, from one of our events with Tony Robbins. I think it was Wealth Mastery,
Hmm.
and it's probably was 2009 ish, 10ish, and we had a goal to have $60,000 of the cash flow a year, which was seemed at the time like a financial freedom at the time, right?
Yeah.
And it was because we didn't have kids and lifestyle was way smaller, right? So when you live in the US, you're adding kids, you're adding team, you're adding offices, you're adding buildings. Uh,
Yeah.
you're meeting those cash flow goals, but your lifestyle tax expense, right? So you just shared the hack. Actually, it is a way to do it. Then so your lifestyle kind of can stay the same, but you're paying for significantly less for that. Plus, you're fulfilled, and again, it's all a mind game. When I think about it, stay on a growth path. You're gonna reach probably those cash flow numbers. But what you don't control, that your lifestyle expands, right? It's still because you're
So
just expanding, around your people, family, kids, college tuitions, and all that stuff. So it's not only expanding the cash flow, but also trying to cap the expenses and the lifestyle.
I would share a story that I shared with you the last time that you spoke.
Let's do this. I know the story, but I would like to hear it again. And
It's
I'm
a
here.
good
We didn't
one.
hear,
Yeah,
guys. No,
it's a
buckle up.
good one. Yeah,
Yeah,
100%. Now this podcast is not going to be for everyone, because we spoke about it
exactly.
offline. It's not for everyone. Like we're not going to talk like about a lot of numbers. We're not going to talk like dive deep about, so many tips how you can, create value within a month and a half and,
Mm-hmm.
retire at like the age of 25. That's no.
Mm-hmm.
Um but for those that are interested in lifestyle and like learning a different angle of how to live life and what cash flow and wealth can do for you, I think it's for those that are interested in that, this podcast is going to be amazing. It's going to be
Mm-hmm.
different. It's going to be very, very refreshing. I had the great pleasure of meeting a very, very interesting guy, probably one of the smartest guys that I've ever met in my life. He has a very fascinating story. He started in the tech industry. He has nothing to do with real estate. And he was extremely successful at a very, very young age. By the of like 25, 30, he already made millions of dollars. He sold his company. He became an angel investor. At some point, he was in his early 30s and he was an angel investor for about 100 different companies, all in the tech industry. And he was living large. He was having the girls, the cars, the money, everything that you can think of, like fine first flights, like 5-star hotels. That was his lifestyle. And at some point he got to Thailand and he met a very interesting monk, a Buddhist monk. And they had a very special connection. Long story short, he started living in his monastery. And what I'm about to share with you, I learned it from him. So, according to Buddhism, we suffer a lot, not necessarily in real life. Of course, there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of suffering, but many times our suffering is because of what's going on here, because of our
Mm-hmm.
desires and about what we want. And I'll give an example. Let's say that today I'm making $500,000, which is great,
Mm-hmm.
but we spoke about it. It's not enough. I want to
Mm-hmm.
make $1 million.
Yeah.
Okay. This gap comes with a lot of suffering. I'm not content. I always want more. I'm not satisfied. So what do? I work my ass off. Let's say that after a couple of years, I reach $1 million. I'm
Let's expand
happy.
lifestyle.
I'm satisfied. I'm content, right? How long does it last?
2 minutes.
A week? A month if I'm lucky? 3 months if I'm very lucky? And then what? I
Better
want 2
lifestyle.
million. Exactly. Your lifestyle catches up with you. You have the kids, you have cars, you have the yachts, blah, blah, blah. So if we focus on that, what do I want? What do I need as a source of our suffering? Today I'm here. I want to be there. I know that when I'm here, I'm content. I'm satisfied. So the idea is instead of wanting more and more and more and more, maybe I can shift my mindset and realize that less is more and crave less and desire less. And when I'm here, I'm happy. So the idea is to understand what do we want, and even more importantly, why do I want what I want? Because when I buy a product, I don't necessarily buy the product because I need it. I buy it because of the feeling that I'm getting from it. That's the idea of when I buy a Gucci shirt, you know, most of us are not fashion, none of us truly understand what a Gucci shirt is. We understand, oh yeah, it's Gucci, it's Prada, it's like Balenciaga, it's nice. We get the feeling, I feel like a big shot. I just bought a Rolex, I just bought a Ferrari. But this feeling does not last for too long. So when we understand that most of the time, we buy material things because of the way that it helps us feel. If I want to feel good, maybe I don't need to look outside for a good feeling. Maybe if I can focus inside, and you can do it through meditation, through walking in nature, through spending more time doing the things that you love, exercising, running. You've done Ironman, which is incredible. There are so many things that we can do that have nothing to do with money. And when we understand that my contentment is when my wants and my needs are satisfied, I can crave less. And I'll give you an example that he gave me. This is where he is today. This is where he wants us. He said that today he has more than what he needs. And if you saw him, you would see a very, very humble person. He has a shirt, he has a t-shirt. I'm sorry, he has some pants. He lives in a very, very modest apartment. And then he was like, what are you talking about? Like, you used to live like a king. You used to have beautiful apartments, cars. And I said, no, you didn't understand. When I lived in a monastery, I was sleeping on the floor. I didn't even have a pillow. Today I have an apartment, and it is very modest, but at least I have a bed, I have a pillow, I even have a fan. Life is good. And then you're like, damn, take a second, let it sink. Like, damn, like maybe what I have today is truly all I need, and maybe it's so much more than what I truly need. And the second that you realize that, you have such a huge smile on your face and you feel satisfied, you feel content. You realize that most of the time, the things that we're chasing them for the wrong reasons. We're chasing them for validation because somebody else has it, because my partner just bought a yacht, because, one of my investors just made a lot of money and he bought a newest Ferrari. But it's never ends. There is always more and more and more and more.
I want to just add a little bit thought here. The way you're talking right now, processing this is that I think I'm waiting. Let's say when that realization comes to me, when I realize I'm going to be so happy like that monk, right? But I think what is actually it is training like for Ironman. It is training like how to be a better salesman or acquisition manager. From my experience, let's say I have those glimpses of realization. We just came back from India, and my wife and we were in the countryside where it's very, very like poor. And then when you see those people, then you realize that we're so lucky what we have, right? Because we have so much.
We are.
Same thing we do. We build the houses in Mexico sometimes, and once a year, and we go there, and you really feel the gratefulness. So my point is, it's not like one time it was like you're a monk. You actually have to force to see how grateful you are. Because my wife has a good saying that we live in that ruffle feathers bubble. It's a golf community surrounded and needed, right? So when you live here, it's very different in the world. And if you're conditioned 99% of the time, you just can't feel it, right? But you have to be exposed to that. And I think it's like building a muscle constantly. Building a muscle. It's like,
100%.
what time you're going to be happy because I have so much. So I just want to plug in here. And I'm sorry for interrupting you, but that's my thought about it. It's like you should be trained.
100%.
We should for that.
Because our brains are made for survival. but they're
Mm-hmm.
not made to make us happy. Just like
Yeah.
you said, in a way, we have to teach ourselves how to be happy. And one of the best ways to do it is to be grateful and to count
Mm-hmm.
our blessings. Now, sometimes it's not easy to count our blessings, because our brains are not made for that. Like, they just have to, hey, I have somewhere to sleep tonight. I have access to fresh water. Nobody's going to hunt, nobody's going to break into my house and hunt me, or like with things that used to happen and still happen in different parts of the world. Well, like if you are sick, you have access to doctor, you have access to medicine. Half of the world doesn't have access to fresh water.
Yeah.
Half of the world, if they needed to see a doctor, I mean, good luck. It's going to take you like 3 days to see one. If you're lucky enough to see it, to have access to medicine. And we take things for granted. But when you start counting your blessings, and when you start appreciating the small things that we have in life, like having teeth to chew your food, or to be able to walk, or to be able to feed your
Mm-hmm.
family and not being worried about where's the next meal is gonna come from. And I'm 100% certain that everybody who is listening to us right now, they're not gonna wonder where they're gonna sleep tonight. They probably have a
Yeah.
very nice portfolio of real estate. Their kids are well fed, and everybody's, it's simply recognizing it. And it's not easy to do, especially not at the beginning. But when you train yourself to be grateful to what we have, even when times are hard, it changes everything. You don't need $500 million in your bank account to be happy. You really don't need $1 million of passive income every month to feel fulfilled and to feel satisfied. It's about being grateful. It's about giving back, which is a huge part of my life right now. I am actually organizing a charity event in Israel in the next couple of weeks that we're going to bring very, very successful speakers. We're going to have an evening of TED Talk lectures by people who have really made it. We're going to have like a couple of athletes, a couple of people that have made a lot of money in the high tech industry. And all of the tickets are going to be, it's a non-profit event. And all of the profits from selling the tickets are gonna go directly to kids. We're gonna go to a very special school of kids with very special needs, kids that were born handicapped, and they will remain like that forever. And then we're gonna go to another mental institute for teenagers and children. And we're gonna buy candy, toys, gifts. We're
Mm-hmm.
gonna make them happy. And that's where I want to spend my days. And this is how I want to spend my time. I could have easily, chase more deals, chase more dollars, do more partnerships, like go to another event. But today, this is not my priority. I would much rather work on another charity event and work 50 hours on one evening just to make those kids smile than spend those 50 hours trying to buy another building. And again, it's very selfish. Another beautiful thing that I've learned from this guy, my mentor, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
he kept saying that the true selfishness is purity. And I'll give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm jealous of you, I don't feel well. I don't feel good, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel? You don't feel anything. If
Yep.
I'm afraid of you, I'm the one who is suffering, but you don't feel anything. Now, let's reverse it. Let's say that I ask you, hey, listen, Saul, I'm a little tight on money and I want to feed my kids tonight. Would you mind to give me $50 so I can buy them dinner? And you would say yes, right?
Of course, yeah.
How would you, how would it make you feel?
It feels good, man. Right away. Feels good.
Exactly. Yeah. So when we do something good for other people, it makes us feel good.
Mm-hmm.
So we can talk about, yeah, I'm a great person and I do everything out of the kindness of my heart and blah, blah, blah. And some people do. I'm not trying to claim like I'm Mama Teresa. Not at all. What I do and helping others makes me feel good. And that's the reason that I do it. And I decided to spend my time and to spend my days trying to help other people as much as I can. And it makes me feel good. And, that's the secret to happiness, as simple as that.
Yep.
And
Yeah, that's
I'm
100%.
very, very grateful and very blessed that I'm in position to do that because of commercial real estate. And again, it's just a different mindset. Instead of chasing dollars all the time, just chase happy moments. And happy moments are not necessarily going to come through spending, money on experiences, on material possessions and material things.
Yeah, thanks, Shai, for sharing that. No, yeah, it's a different level of thinking, and what I'm getting is that first is from this conversation putting more energy on being grateful what you have. There's nothing wrong to expand and achieve more.
No,
I'm in
not at
school. There's definitely nothing wrong, but really there is a pretty much technique, right, to actually training the muscle to be grateful. One thing. And then next, that feeling is actually when able to do that for someone else. So you just actually 10xing. This is just technique, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, this is what it's all about. To first understand when enough is enough.
Hmm.
Second, when you have enough, what am I going to do with with my money? You
Hmm.
can buy the yacht, you can buy the jet, and good for you. Those things are great. Problem is that after a month, you're gonna get used to your yacht, and you want to get a bigger one. After a
Hmm.
couple of months, you're gonna get used to your jet, and this is what happens when you spend your time thinking of other people and not what do I want right now. Maybe there's someone else who is less fortunate than we are.
Hmm.
Maybe I can help them a little bit, and it's not necessarily with money. A couple of years ago, I was volunteering with the Holocaust survival. She was a very, very old woman. She was like in her late 80s. Uh, I used to come and sit with her, like just have a conversation for an hour, a couple of times a week. And every single time, whenever I visited her, I asked her, "Hey, like, do you need anything? Like, do you want me to buy your lunch? Like, do you want me to get a new TV? Something?" She said, "No, I don't have much, but I don't need anything. The only thing that I want is to have to have a conversation with you. So
Hmm.
please keep coming. Please, like, tell your friends that I'm very lonely. I just want someone to talk to." And it's the best feeling ever.
Yeah.
And it's really that simple.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Thanks, Shai, for sharing that. Really, really appreciate it.
Thank
It's
you for the
great, great.
opportunity.
Have you always in the show and yeah, to keep reminding what's really important. Do you mind if we'll switch a little bit more tactical right now? I want to get a
Of
little bit of
course.
something from tactical.
Absolutely.
We
Yeah.
chat a little bit now. So
We're still real estate junkies. Absolutely.
wait, can you share with us? No, for someone like you, I'm looking right now at my calendar. Right, it's full. I don't know. I'm looking right now in a week. It's probably 20, maybe 15 to 20 of those appointments right now, and it's always on. Uh, Show me how do you track your calendar? How does it look on your end? And I'll share my screen.
Very old fashioned.
That's your calendar, right? So
That
that's
this is
that's
my
that's a
calendar.
week, right? That's a whole week
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
showing to
yeah,
us, right? So
yeah.
there's like 3 or 4 things. Amazing,
Yeah, just like reminders, who I need to speak to and what do I need to do, but I keep it intentionally very, very empty.
Very
I
light.
don't want to know what my day is going to look like. I don't want to make plans too far in advance. I just let life come to me. And it's extremely different than my old life when I was building an empire, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very different. Today, I realize that I get up in the morning and I go to do my daily workout, and then I don't want to know what I'm going to do.
Oh,
And
right.
I keep it simple. Yeah. Keep it
That's
very, very
awesome.
simple. Yeah.
All
I
right,
still do
next one.
real estate and yeah.
Next one. How is your deal underwriting looks like? Is it only napkin kind of type of calculation? Is it elaborate spreadsheet? What's your typical process to you find a deal, you put in a contract, and how do you underwrite it now? I'm just curious to know in your stage where you're at right now. How does it look like?
So a few years ago, when I was focusing on building a very large portfolio, I had a bunch of investors. I had partners. We are partners in a couple of deals now. Actually, we sold one of them.
Yeah.
I would love to do more deals with you.
Mm-hmm.
It was very, very different. It was the bigger, the better. I was focusing on square footage. I was focusing on dollar amounts. Today, it is much different. Today, we do only value add deals. I only do retail and industrial.
Mm-hmm.
And the simpler, the better. We've closed in the last couple of years, I think, 4 deals with owner financing. All of them were identical, 85% LTV, 5% IO for 10 years. Usually today, what I do is I focus on smaller deals, anywhere between $500,000 to, I think, 3, 4, 5 million. I do it 100% with my own money. I don't have the desire to have 20 partners. I don't want to have 20 investors that then you need to do. You need to give them reports and get on call with them. I don't have the appetite for this anymore. I can give you an idea of a couple of deals that we've done. I'll start with the
Mm-hmm.
juicy one.
Mm-hmm.
We closed on a small shopping center, let's see, about almost 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we bought it. It's a 30,000 square feet shopping center in Florida. We bought it for $55 a foot, and it was, I think, 1.5 million.
Mm-hmm.
And we are about to list it on the market next month for 6.1 million.
Wow.
And I closed on it hard money. We refied last year. We pulled $1 million from the refi proceeds, and it will be sold for, I believe, around 6.1 million at 7.775 cap.
That's awesome.
And I own 100% of it. No investors, no partners. So those are the deals that I like to do. We bought it 75% occupied. All of the leases were month-to-month gross leases. The average was about 5, no, maybe 7 gross. Some tenants stayed, some tenants moved out. And today we are 97% occupied. We
Mm-hmm.
have a tenant that is going to move out at the end of this month. We have 2 vacancies to fill out. We're going to sell it 100% occupied. It's a great deal. And I think that we're going to net, let's see, we bought it for 1.5. We put about 600,000 between LC, TI, and renovation. So we're all in for 2.1. We'll call it 6 million minus the commission. So we're gonna net about 3.5,
Amazing, man.
maybe $3.7 million. Yeah, in a couple of years. It's not a bad paycheck.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's
My
awesome.
brother is actually at ICSC right now as we speak, and he has had
Trying to sell it?
so much demand. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that y'all would have sold it. I haven't spoken to him, but I'm pretty sure
Oh,
that
so
y'all would have
he's trying
sold
to
it.
sell it in ICSC, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah, we've
awesome.
had a number of conversations with a lot of workers and a lot of buyers. There is a very high demand for this type of product. It's a small deal. It's only
Mm-hmm.
30,000 square feet. The biggest unit is 3,000 square feet. All of the units are between 1,000 to 1,500. So it is very easy to lease. There is a brand new Chipotle in Publix, about mile and a half from this shopping center. Healthy growth, very good traffic. So all of the fundamentals are there. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the money and just roll it to the next one, and that's what we do. I
That's
have another
amazing.
shop. Yeah. Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big win. And it was not such a heavy lifting. I mean, we did full renovation, like everything from parking lot to painting, like we had to tear down a couple of units, rebuild them, stuff like that. We gave TI, we gave some credits to tenants, and it's just one of those deals that it is not such a heavy lifting, but it's so
Mm-hmm.
juicy that you cannot lose. And those are exactly the deals that I'm focusing on today. I don't want to do a deal that is going to cost me 5 years of my life. I don't want to do a deal that I will have to raise $10 million and I'll have to be a slave in a way to those investors for the life of the investment. I don't have the appetite I look at
Totally
things
makes
very
sense.
differently today, you know? I mean, I look
Totally.
at what you do and I'm like, wow, like, how do you do that? Like, you bought a $500,000 building, you chop it off, and you speak to the county and you speak to so many tenants, are like, wow, like, that's a lot of work and good for you. I mean, that's amazing. You have the skill set that not many people can do, and it's impressive, unbelievable. It's just not for me where I am today. Like I look at
Yeah,
you, I'm like, wow, like
yeah.
it's
On,
like,
on, on my end, also, it has changed the last 2 years. I
yeah,
think I will. Yeah, I will not take any more 5 deals, 5 8 deals at a time. It
yeah,
definitely.
that's
It
hard.
definitely takes a toll. I'm not the where you at, but it's inspiring too. Definitely 100%. At the same time, yeah, I'm past that stage when we're buying, vacant 500,000 square feet building and take another one. It takes a lot. It definitely takes a lot.
Yeah, it is. Good for you, man. I mean, I'm so proud of you for getting to the finish line. Like it's so
Yeah,
many people, including myself, would quit. I think that like halfway through the race, I'm like, fuck it.
yeah.
I don't wanna deal with it anymore.
It takes a lot. Yeah. So finally, the turning, finally cash flowing and refinance. So pretty much all of them.
Congratulations. Good for
Yeah.
you.
Thank you. All right, one more. On the investment side, so I 100% real estate. Or do we have anything in stocks, coin, crypto, Airbnb? Where do you put your capital? Only commercial real estate, or do you invest in something else?
I will share with you a sad story
Okay.
that a few years ago, when we both belonged to the same mastermind,
Mm-hmm.
there was an investment in the energy section. And I invested a large amount of money, 6 figures in this investment, and I lost all of it. And I learned two things. Number one,
Listen
do
up,
your
guys.
homework. Always, always, always do your homework. The second thing, I will never, ever invest in something that I don't have control over and that I don't understand. If I cannot explain it, what exactly does this product or service is doing, I'm not doing it. I cannot understand crypto. I cannot explain crypto. I'm not gonna do it. I don't understand the stock market. I have no control over the stock market. No, I would much rather today, a good investment for me is, am I gonna sleep well at night?
Mm-hmm.
If the answer is no, I have no desire. I have no desire, like, because many people, including myself a couple of years ago, when I analyzed and when I underwrote a new investment, I thought, I didn't even think about a question, am I going to sleep well at night? Today, it's one of the top priorities. If I don't understand it, if I don't control it, I don't do it. I'm very happy to work on a small deal, and most of my deals are not sexy at all. I'll give you an
Mm-hmm.
example. A couple of months ago, we just closed on a 15,000 square feet flex industrial, 3 separate buildings. Each building is about 5,000 square feet. Not sexy at all. Very ugly, very neglected. Um, we bought it for $40 a foot, or 85% LTV, 5% IO for 10 years. It's going to cash flow like crazy once we're fully occupied. And we bought it for 535. We've already spent about 150. Let's say that we're going to be all in for let's say 730. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
At an ACAP, it will be valued at 1.6, 1.65.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to create about $900,000 in equity. And it doesn't require much. Like we just need to replace the roof, put a lipstick on a pig, replace the tenants.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. I understand it. I don't need to physically be there every single day. I don't need to do much. My team already runs everything. It doesn't need, it doesn't take much of my time. I would much rather spend my time doing that. And this is those are the type of deals that allow me to work 4 or 5 hours a week. That's what I want to do. This is how I sleep well at night. And it doesn't come with bragging rights. Nobody said I just bought this very ugly, ugly duckling. But if it makes you 8, 900,000 in about a year and a half, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Not a
I'm
bad deal.
happy.
For
No,
sure.
not at all.
Absolutely.
No.
No, I totally agree with you, man. No, yeah, I definitely was in a camp that bigger is better. But then what it comes down to is really it's such a different competition when you go above $5 or even $10 million to buy a really discounted deal is really, really tough because there's
It
so much
is.
capital chasing that, right? But once
That's
you're
exactly
below
right.
five, especially below like two, And if you can do it below million, I think you can do it other way. But definitely in terms of value add, percentage wise, those smaller deals have much bigger because this is kind of the gap, I think, between, I would say, million and like 750 and 3 million, where this is that it's not really no man's land. It's a little too large for residential flippers, but it's definitely
Yeah.
too small for any commercial operator. It's just too small. Even to go to the bank, try to get a loan for 750, it's much harder than to get a loan for 10 million,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
For the last couple of years, we've done a number of deals. I'll just
Mm-hmm,
tell you the most recent one that we just sold. Not very unsexy. We
mm-hmm,
bought it for 280. We put another 200.
mm-hmm,
We sold it for, I think it was around 850.
mm-hmm,
So, and it was again owner financing, a very small renovation. We netted about 250, 300,000, in about 12, 13 months. The- When you do the math, let's say that you buy a big one, okay? That you buy like a 10, 15 million deal, you work in for 5 years, you make $4 million, which is
mm-hmm.
amazing. It's a lot of money. You have a couple of partners. When you do the math over 5 years, maybe you've made 150,000, depends
Mm-hmm.
on how you cut, like how you slice the dice. But I would much rather work all by myself, not answering phone calls to investors, not having
Mm-hmm.
50 investors and make 250 a year on one single ugly deal than working, on a biz that you have to take a loan, you have to refi, you have to, spend a couple of years on renovations. That's my 2 cents. That's how I see it. That's the reason that I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, yeah. I agreed. I agreed for sure, for sure. Man, that was, many wisdom jam-packed session. I really, really appreciate. I
Thank you.
want to start actually. Oh, by the way, this week is actually a year since we started the podcast. So this is a celebration
Amazing.
for us.
Wow,
Really,
that's awesome.
this is really 1 year when we started the podcast. So with that, I would like to start another tradition. And we're gonna go 1 year. Hopefully, it's gonna work well. I want to start having a question they'll ask you, and you're going to come up with another question. I'm going to ask another guest. So I'm going to ask you the question, and you have a free pass if it's too difficult for you, but it's going to go deep and personal. So the question is, what's the kindest thing anyone have ever done for you in your life? What's the kindest thing
Wow,
anyone ever done for you?
what a beautiful question. I love it. It's simple. When I first moved to the US, I could barely speak English. And I was on a basketball team. It was like new culture. I didn't know the mentality, didn't know the language, didn't know anything. And I was introduced by the Jewish community to a husband and wife that both of them were judges. Today, they're retired judges. And they lived about 5 minutes away from my campus.
Mm-hmm.
They were extremely successful, very, very generous. And they had a small guest house in their house, and they let me stay there for free for 4 years. 4 years of my life, I stay with them, and I've learned so much from them. They had such a huge impact on my life. And today, when people ask me why, and no, I'll share another personal story.
Mm-hmm.
After 4 years of living with them, at some point I had to move out. And I remember this conversation like it just happened. I asked them, I gotta ask you, you let me into your family, you opened your house for me. You never asked me for anything. Why? Like, why would you ever do that? I was a complete stranger, and now I became part of a family. They just smiled and they said, when you have the opportunity, pass it forward. And
Mm,
today, when people ask me, why do I do what I do? I said, because I have to, because I promised
that's
10, 11, 12 years ago, and I like to keep my promises. And
that's awesome.
this
Thank
is
you.
the most beautiful that somebody has ever done to me. And it changed my life. It
And you
helped
keep doing
me.
that. And you keep doing it for so many people right now yourself. Wow,
Yeah. Yeah. That's my
amazing.
duty. Mhm. I don't have a choice.
Thank you. Thank you for
It's such a
sharing that. That's
beautiful,
amazing.
question. Thank you.
Now, do you have a question right now for another guest that you would like to ask? And he's going to
I do.
answer a question, any question, what you want to ask.
I do. And we spoke about it earlier. What are you the most grateful for?
What are you most grateful for? Awesome. That's a great question. I'll make sure I'm going to ask it. And hopefully we're going to have the same amount of wisdom come out of the next guest.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Shay. Really appreciate it. Let's do another one sometime
you.
end of the year. I really, really appreciate
I would love
always
to.
learning so much, and hopefully people learn a
I
lot
would
too.
love.
Thank you, buddy.
I would love to.
Thank you.
And thank you for doing it. I gotta say that I read every newsletter that you send every Sunday. I listen to your podcast and I learned so much for you. So thank you for doing what you're doing. I truly appreciate it. On behalf of everybody who is listening to us,
Thank you.
much
Thank you, Shay. Really
appreciated. Thank you.
Thanks, bud.
Thank you. All right.
You've been listening to the Value Builder Podcast. For more strategies, stories, and episodes, head to valuebuilder.co or subscribe on your favorite app. Always make it better than you found it and keep adding value. See you in the next one.